I'm going to talk about the role of reaching with the right arm or the left arm in PRI exercises. So, when you are in the left AIC, right BC pattern, the pelvis is oriented to the right. The left side of the pelvis has come forward and oriented the entire pelvis to the right. The rib cage, or the spine is oriented to the right, but the rib cage starts to rotate back to the left in order to stay straight, and this equates with being on your right foot. So this is the pattern that we are in, or should be in, when we're on our right foot. When we move to the left, and we're still in this pattern, that's where the issue is. So people struggle with orienting their pelvis to the left, orienting their spine to the left, and then rotating their torso back to the right. This is what it's like to be, or should be like, when you're on your left foot. This is called left stance. So here's right stance, here's left stance. This is what we struggle with. We struggle with getting into left stance and then staying in left stance long enough so that we don't fall back to the right prematurely. So the first thing we have to do, now this sacrum should have 4 vertebrae on top of it. I'm sorry, 5. So L5, L4, L3, L2, L1, and then sacrum, but it's not there. So just assume that when you see this, it's also including the lumbar vertebrae above it. So we have this pelvis oriented to the right, the vertebrae above it oriented to the right, and we need to establish pelvic position back to the left so that we can orient our spine to the left so we can get into left stance. Oftentimes, that's when you'll use a right reach. So if I reach with my right arm, it orients the pelvis and the spine to the left. So when I reach with my right arm, that's what's happening. So some exercises will use a right arm reach, and you're generally doing that in the beginning of a program or during repositioning to help orient our spine and pelvis to the left. After that, left arm reaching is what needs to occur when we're on our left foot and we are walking. So once I get to that left side and I then counter-rotate my torso back to the right, this left arm, as it goes forward, because my weight's on that foot as I'm walking, that should send the rib cage backwards, and that's not what's happening. Most people, they swing the arm forward, and here's the left side, it arches, and they fall back to the right. That when that left arm swings forward, the rib cage should be flexed. The rib cage should be moving back as that arm moves forward. So in PRI exercises, a lot of times, you'll be, if you're upright, you'll be in this left AFIR position, and the arm is reaching, usually upon inhalation. I inhale, the left arm comes forward, and as I do that, the left posterior mediastinum, left rib cage, moves back and opens up, because that's what's restricted on that left side. So for a long time, I couldn't figure out why sometimes you were reaching with the right arm, sometimes you're reaching with the left arm. But that's the general idea behind it. The right arm reach we use early on to help get us to the left, to help establish left AFIR, to help establish the left ZOA, and then the left arm reach helps us keep this position, keeps the ribs back as we rotate back to the right. So this is our true left stance position, and we have to stay there long enough so that we don't prematurely fall back to the right. And that's really what PRI is all about. Get to the left, maintain the left long enough, be able to breathe in that position in proper biomechanical position without using hip flexors, without using neck, without using lower back to pull air in, because that's what most people are doing. And that's how reach is utilized. Now, that's not the only reason. There's others, because every time you reach, you're help stabilizing your spine, you're help stabilizing your rib cage, you're help stabilizing your scapula on top of the rib cage, you're help stabilizing the rib cage underneath the scapula, you are stabilizing the shoulder, you are influencing rib position, you are internally rotating ribs, externally rotating ribs. You're doing a lot of things with these reaching, and of course training muscles, but that is the general gist of arm reaching during exercises is often to get to the left or to hold on to the left long enough without prematurely going back to the right, because remember, the bigger right diaphragm has a tendency to pull us to the right because it's so much bigger and so much stronger than the left side, and that rotational pull that it provides upon the spine as we breathe 23,000 times a day loves to pull us to the right side. And so that's why we're usually training the left side, get to the left, stay on the left long enough with appropriate biomechanical action, and that's how it works. If you found this video interesting or helpful, could you please like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, do anything you can to spread this information, because PRI is really changing people's lives, and I hope to share it with even more people. Thanks.